NFL draft is currently going on, and this is my favorite part when they call the guy like, you've just been selected, and you see this person, random white chick with a black dude. You like, who is that? Girlfriend, baby mama, or wife? Great game to play.
So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about NFL players or just professional athletes with white or non-black girlfriends. Essentially talking about the stigma about professional athletes not dating black women. Now this year's 2024 NFL draft just passed, and there was one clip that went viral of a Nigerian offensive tackle out of Penn State named Olumayiwa Fashanu. Now y'all know I'm Nigerian, but I'm not Yoruba, so please correct me about the pronunciation. I remember one time I pronounced a Yoruba name incorrectly and people were like, as a Nigerian, how could you do it? I'm like, there's so many different cultures and dialects and languages and tribes within Nigeria. It's a big country, so I tried. Anyway, in the video, he gets drafted to the New York Jets. He's super excited. His mom is even more excited, and then his girlfriend is trying to be excited for him, but his mother is basically showing that she's also an offensive tackle. Let's check that out.
New York Jets.
Yeah!
So I wanted to talk about the nuances of the stigma of professional athletes dating outside of their race, and specifically in this case of a Nigerian. Now, I do want to mention that the channel Wild Heart Waves, and I love her content. If you guys are not subscribed to her, please go check her out. She's somebody that I will always promote. But she did a video about this and she really went in depth. She talked about a lot of different things, socio-economical reasons for this, and just different nuances of this topic. And I would love for y'all to go check out her channel, especially that video. Now, with this thumbnail, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some comments about Patrick Mahomes being a biracial man, and Patrick Mahomes is a product of the topic at hand, hence why I mentioned him. His dad was a professional athlete who married a white woman, and then we have Patrick, so I just wanted to make sure I clarified that as well. But this video is not just solely about black men and white women, it's really black men and non-black women altogether. It's just all socially and optically intriguing, and this topic gets brought up every so often because there is a yearly reminder at all of these sports drafts that this nuance is active. Maybe I'll do a video with athletes at different levels talking about this, just interviewing them about their experience and just different things that they see as insiders. Let me know if y'all are interested. So I've broken this video down into one very long, comprehensive point. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So as y'all know, the NFL draft just came and went this year. In college, I worked in college sports, like I've said time and time again, specifically with my school's football team. So I've drawn an inclination to sports through that. But I also grew up with a brother who was very athletic. He did basketball, track, and football, and a dad who also loves sports as well. And I was a cheerleader, so you know, I do like sports. So I did tune in to the draft. I watched day 1 and day 2. If you've never watched the draft, essentially if you're selected in the first round, that means you are the best. That means that during your college career, you were literally the best and all of your stats are off the charts. And these professional teams are so interested in you that they would like to invest in your talent to their professional team. So the difference in this year's draft is that you saw a lot of quarterbacks get picked up. I don't even think they had a defensive position picked up until like number 12 or somewhere around there. So a lot of offensive players were getting picked up off the board to different teams, which usually signifies that a professional team needs a boost offensively. So one player in particular, which is Olu Fashanu, he is an offensive tackle from Waldorf, Maryland. He played for Penn State, which I'm from Pennsylvania, so shout out to them. And now he's been drafted by the New York Jets in the first round as the 11th pick. And that is very good. His contract says that Olu Fashanu is set to make nearly $21 million over 4 years, with nearly $12 million of that coming via a guaranteed signing bonus. So my brother, you just got paid. And of course, that's exciting. I mean, most of these guys are working their whole life playing football from age 5 up until like 25 just to hopefully get drafted and make it big. And the chances of getting drafted are very slim, and I don't think a lot of people realize that many of these guys are going for very limited spots. So that ties into the hype and the emotion that you see between them and their family members on draft day. I originally saw this clip live when they called his name. As soon as his name popped up, I obviously recognized that he was Nigerian, so I paid a little bit more attention just in solidarity. I think that's a natural Nigerian thing to do. And then when I panned my eyes all the way to the left, I saw his white girlfriend sitting on the couch next to his mother, and his father was on the couch as well. And then he was surrounded by a boatload of family and supporters. I'm sure former teammates and cousins, and so be it. And I think the optics of this has been seen so many times that it didn't shock me. And again, I worked in college sports, so this imagery was something that I saw as well. Now, I will say at my school, I kind of feel like a lot of the black athletes did date black girls. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, especially in professional, because there's going to be some comments that say, but what about the ones that do date black women? They are there and that is a thing, okay? But we're just focusing on this right now. But when it comes to college, I do think it depends on what type of school you're going to. At my school, we were still in a very urban environment. I mean, if you've ever been to Toledo, Ohio, it's kind of black. So I think that did play a role, and we were a Division I school, but we were just on the lower scale of Division I. Now, when you're going to something like Penn State, LSU, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, University of Florida, schools like that, big name schools where historically they were meant for rich or opulent people, but they do have an academic and athletic success in history as well. So I do think at those schools, the climate is different. And if there's anybody that attends a huge school at the moment, you can let me know your experience as well. So yeah, these schools are historically more for opulent or just well-to-do white people. And then of course, due to the test of time, integration, just evolving as a society, there has been a lot more diversity these days. But overall, these are predominantly white institutions, also known as PWIs. And I know Penn State is definitely because at my high school, everybody wanted to go to Penn State when I was graduating high school. There was always this Nittany Lions pride everywhere I went, and I just knew I didn't want to go to Penn State. And if you don't know, I was so gung-ho on going to an HBCU coming out of high school that it's crazy that I ended up going to a PWI. So anyway, I say all that to say, because there's this argument that a lot of these athletes are going to a white school where there's a lack of eligible black girls. Of course, there's more white girls than black girls, but I still don't agree with that argument, because when you get to college, you're in an environment where you are there to academically succeed, but also build your connections, find yourself, and make the best out of a young adult's life. College is stressful, but it's also a very good place for you to develop character and create lifelong memories where your only expectation is to do well in school and have fun. So the types of girls that are attending any college across the United States are more times than not your stereotypical black girls, and especially at a PWI. I'm not saying that all black girls go to an HBCU or straight out of the hood or ghetto or whatever, because I don't think that's true either. But what I'm saying is that when you're at a PWI as a black girl, you are one of very few, and more times than not, you aren't the so-called stereotypical black girl that people often want to write you off to be. Am I saying that those types of girls don't go there? No, because I saw that as well at my PWI. I saw a lot of ghetto girls. Like I said, Toledo, Ohio, it was kind of black, and all of my roommates were from Detroit. I met a whole bunch of different characters. But I will say that at a PWI, I do think you see diverse types of black girls. You see the girls that are from the suburbs, you see the girls that are also from the hood, you see the girls that come from opulence, you see the girls that come from single parent households, you see the ones that are just here on an opportunity, you get your international students and everything in between. And I know you get the same at an HBCU, but just from my experience, the girls at PWIs are less likely to be your stereotypical black girl. So when these athletes, let alone just black men on these campuses, say that, oh, I'm just around all types of white people, I'm only around white people, I think that's disingenuous. Because how is your black ass there but no black women? Come on now. I think of course you're around white people, but I feel as though in order for you to enter a relationship with these white girls, you have to be attracted to them and your eyes have to be drawn to them, because there's other black girls that exist that go to these campuses, even if they're in smaller numbers, they are there. So when I see the NFL and it's the stigma of if it ain't snowing, they ain't going, I think we would be lying if we said that that isn't true. I do think that the problem is that society has a somewhat permanent but definitely purposeful disdain for black women, and that has been going on for a long time. I think with society, it's a natural stereotype that has come with racism, but I also think the black community does add to that negative narrative as well, and unapologetically doing it at that. I have to also hold the black community and also black women accountable, because too many of y'all like to call me a pick-me or misogynist, because I guess I leave men off the table as if men listen to what I have to say. Almost 90-something% of you are women that are watching me, and black women at that. So I'm gonna speak to those ladies because this is our sector. Like, I don't really address men on here like that. But anyway, when you have figures such as Sexy Red being the biggest name in the mainstream that's representing black media and black women, and of course I don't think she represents all of us, but let's be real, she has worldwide appeal at this point, and that's a representation that's being pushed out through what she looks like, her background, and definitely her skin color. And I do think it's hurtful to how people view our image, even black men. Even though it's black men that are behind a lot of these Sexy Red type of girls, whether they're mainstream rappers or your average girl in the hood, they're the ones that are co-signing, they're the ones ones that are sexualizing. They're the ones that are disrespecting them. They are the ones that are stereotyping them. They are the ones that are okay being seen with them for the sake of power and the optics, but you don't ever really see them really make them more than that. And like I said time and time again, I will never shut up about this. If we as a community decided to counter that type of imagery with something else at that same level to what is currently mainstream, would do us a benefit. If we had more modest or intelligent or intellectual yet still pretty Black girls who display more femininity, more range, and more talent to the mainstream than what we've been getting, our imagery as a collective would be seen differently. People would understand the non-monolithic approach that Black women actually have. But when you turn a blind eye to something, whether you like it or not, it is directly affecting you in a negative way. And everybody looks at Black women like we're the laughingstock. And that's why I have to scold Black women and even Black men about the imagery that they promote that rubs off on just about everybody. But Black women don't get the benefits because even though the Black guys may stand in solidarity to listen to your music or take a picture with you or jump onto your popular wave, they're never gonna hold you to the standard as if you're better than the next type of girl because they just won't. And it's shameful, but it is what it is. Now, the other aspect I want to talk about is definitely saying something about these white girls too. I have no issue with people dating whoever they want to date. I'm not jealous of y'all. I'm not bitter, nothing like that. If you ask me, when it comes to Black athletes, they be in my DM too. And when it comes to white guys, when I'm out and about, they be wanting to Chioma chat with me. So I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna ever down talk myself. This is not coming from a place of hate. I think I'm a super baddie, and I think I can attract the same men a white girl can or any other woman. And when you leave with that level of confidence and just reassurance, none of these nuances about life deeply affect you. But I will say this, these white girls only hop onto these types of Black men usually for one of two reasons. They've either been rejected by their own men, their own white men, and if that's not the case, the Black men that they are attracted to are the ones that are rejected in Black spaces, because let's be real, that happens. And they feel like they can apply this savior complex to this Black man because for some reason we still have a racial chokehold that we need to abide by white history and white rhetoric in order to make it to the next level in life. Then the other reason is that a lot of these girls are raised to think about security for themselves. And I feel like it's a very striking difference between how Black girls are raised and how white girls are raised. I went to a predominantly white school my entire life, from K through 12 and then in college as well. And even when I was in elementary school, I was in Catholic school. So it was diverse, but it wasn't primarily Black. And the one thing I've observed from going to school with white people, but only having Black friends, the way how Black girls and white girls are raised is completely different. I do think women, like all women, we are told to find a man that can take care of us regardless of race. But I think Black girls are told that and white girls are coached that. Most of these white girls are not coming from your local hood. You're not from Kensington and North Philly. You're not from the east side of Detroit. Shit, you're not from the east side of Baltimore. You're in most cases coming from a middle-class two-parent household where your wants and needs were met. You stayed out of danger and violence. You don't have to deal with certain stereotypes. And they've been able to really only have to worry about going to school, playing your field hockey, going to college, joining Alpha Delta Pi, and graduating and going about your life. I remember I saw this TikTok and it was like a whole bunch of white girls graduating college with engagement rings. And then there was a conversation as to why that wasn't as prominent in Black American culture. And I do think it's because white girls and Black girls are raised differently about how to secure a man, or at least going about it.
White girls who are sitting at their graduation engaged. And the question came up, well, why is there not the reality?
If you went to college, you would understand why this is. For going to primarily like Catholic schools all my life, a lot of these women go to college knowingly that they are going to come out with a ring. And it kind of sounds bad, but that's what they're bred to do. And I'm not saying every white woman, because there are a lot of white women who I've been in classes with who actually want to utilize their degrees after school. But some of them who are raised to this mentality of, I have to get the ring before I graduate. And that's why they sit in the business buildings or the liberal arts buildings. They know where to go. They are told by their parents where to sit, what spaces to be in to find a husband. Black women are not raised the same way. We are told to get our degrees to utilize them, to go be successful, to go achieve a master's and a doctorate. It's like our lives and white women's lives are polar opposites in college. And if you sat in a college classroom, it's more women that look like us in those rooms, because Black women are the highest educated group in the country. We're majoring in engineering, the sciences, political science, nursing, all these very extravagant majors, because we weren't taught to go out and find a husband. We were taught to get our degrees. A lot of these women do not utilize their degrees after they graduate. They just become housewives. And again, not all of them, but some of them are raised like that.
So when these girls see these black athletes, or just athletes in general, but in this case, black athletes, who in most cases don't have the same upbringing, I feel like they go on a charity run. And I'm not saying it's all of them. I do feel like some of these relationships are based out of true love and really connecting with your person, regardless of you being two different races. But at the end of the day, whatever investment they are giving throughout college, whether it may be homework help, a shoulder to cry on, money, or just real love, again, they know it will be replenished tenfold once that black athlete secures that professional athlete contract.
I can tell you very quickly and precisely why black athletes...
Excuse my attire, but I just got out the pool. But I played college football. I ain't start, but I was there. They was there though. This is what I want people to understand. When we got out of practice, they was there. When we had weight training, they was there. Spring game, they was there. Homework, it was kind of systematically set up to where like these girls would be helping players with their homework. And look at it from a perspective of a black kid who comes from basically nothing, you know, and his whole depiction of black women are what he see on TV or what he see around the way. And when he get to a college campus and he got a chick that's willing to do whatever, hey, are you hungry? Hey, do you need a ride? Hey, you need some money? You need a place to stay? This was before NIL. Motherfuckers was broke. So they're just going along with whatever. Because it's survival of the fittest when you playing. Ain't no money. And them white girls are doing it the whole way through. Now, granted, you can't trust all of them because I had a homeboy who was messing with one of them. And when he played around with her, she logged into his student account and deleted all his classes for the next semester. So beware, they don't fuck around. But that's why them draft couches look the way they do, man. When you in them college campuses, that's what it is. Black girls some of them would come around, but they wasn't fucking around until the game. A lot of them wasn't in the gym. It's just being straight up, unless they were already in a relationship with somebody. Black girls wasn't just hanging around the fucking football facilities like that. At the school that I went to, they weren't. I had me a couple of Mayonnaise Mafia members, I ain't even gonna lie, and I ain't even start. Could you imagine what it would have been like if I was actually catching touchdowns there? But just because I wrestle with you don't mean you're gonna get the title. I always knew that I would end up with a black woman. I'm just saying you need to understand why the way shit is the way it is with these NFL athletes or NBA athletes and when they make it.
So what I'm saying is a lot of these white girls only meet these guys in college when they're on the prowl to being successful in athleticism. And a lot of these black girls that are coming from a similar background as some of these black athletes, they might resonate with them too much. And maybe that causes some of these black guys to say they don't want to be connected to anybody or anything that reminds them of where they used to be and not where they're going. But again, I say there are a lot of different types of black girls at these campuses that did grow up with two parents or did grow up with a suburban life or didn't have to struggle a certain way that aren't your stereotypical type of black woman. So again, I hate that excuse because I feel like you're just attracted to what you're attracted to as a black athlete in this case, because there's a stigma that getting with a black girl doesn't help your image. I saw a TikTok on this and I'm going to share it about how college coaches tell black athletes to get with non-black girls to help their image before and after they are drafted to the pros.
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party?
So I have a story time about this. When I was in high school, I had a teacher that was a basketball coach and a football coach. And his daughter was dating a football player and that was going to go D1. We all knew he was going D1. And the way he would talk about him was so slave mastery. He would be like oh yeah, their kids are going to be big. Their kids are going to be great athletes. Like just goofy stuff. And one day I became friends with one of the basketball players and he told me, he said, yeah, when we date black girls, they encourage us not to. They say they're bad for our image and we should date white girls. And when we are dating black girls at the time, they basically like harass us on the team. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Because these white girls be coming out of nowhere. I'll be like, I ain't even know the draft picks. I didn't even know the draft picks yet. And they're already walking down the aisle with these white women. Hilarious. Really scary. Actually terrifying. Only proving that black women are superior, because why is it even that serious? Look, the sun is loving me today. Anyways, Crazy,
now, there was
right?
a lot of think pieces on this entire situation dealing with Olu and his girlfriend. I don't think this situation was the only one, but they did go viral this year, and it just was kind of funny to see the mom kind of ignore her. But I will say that there was another part to this video that the media left out, where the mother did embrace her and hug her and was pretty warm to her. So I don't think his mom didn't like her. I just think it was a very raw, emotional moment where her focus was on her son and honestly the early retirement that she's about to go into. Put a pin on that though. I want to revisit that. Now, of course, there were some responses to this conversation from black men, and there were different men that came out to explain why black men or black athletes choose a white girl over a black girl. And overall, let me just start off by saying I disagree with almost everything these men had to say. Just because if you think a skin tone and race is the determinator of how someone is going to act, you might literally be dumb.
Because when you get that rich, the white woman don't focus on your dick. Yeah, she go get all the money affairs and all to make sure the businesses run smooth, go get the charity, and the black woman be squabbling with you about your dick. Yeah, black woman go squabble with you about your dick. White woman go open charities up, start doing book clubs and reading shit, making sure she picked a accountant and financial advisor, and the black bitch go be one of my bitch, who is that called it? Who is that? So that's why. I ain't bullshit. She gonna be stuck on the dick part. She ain't gonna never get the financial and business aspect of it. So I see why them niggas do that.
Yeah, so you don't think that makes them what can I say?
Like they sold out. You damn near have to. When you go to making the kind of money them niggas making, homie. For one, the black woman, homie, she'll trip anywhere. She'll check you in front of your business partner, and so he'll start saying, man, you can't control your woman. Man, your woman will come. So he'll start not wanting to do business with you because your woman, y'all will be out together, nigga, and your woman will catch attitude in front of his woman and wife, and everybody about business be looking at your woman crazy because she in her feelings. The black woman, between the black woman and the black man, they in their feelings everywhere. Everybody else trying to have a good time, they go get in their feelings. Everybody else trying to conduct business, handle business, nigga, it's gonna be so, that's why you see all them niggas with a white bra. Unless they been with the woman like Snoop Dogg, Denzel, that's why. Because nobody's training and teaching black girls how to deal with successful black men. They just learning how to deal with hood niggas. Niggas who, ain't nobody's teaching and training.
All these black college athletes that are getting drafted having white women. What's going on? I am going to tell you, as someone that is friends with a lot of D1 football players and D1 basketball players, I'm going to tell you because they have told me. Whoa. Before I get into this, I want to make it clear I'm only into black women. I'm just telling you what they have told me. My man said, bro, how many white women have you seen do the Meg Thee Stallion challenge? And he said, excluding the ones that think they're 2 shades away from being Lotto. I said, probably only 1. He said, okay. Y'all, 5 of my guys that play on Division I Power 5 football teams, and they were like, Goody, you know the type of NIL deals we got. One of my men said, bro, I was messing with this black girl. She heard about the deal I got and started to request money, Apple Pays and Cash Apps, for her hair and nails. I said, oh shit. My other friends were saying, bro, I would try to take her out to Chipotle, Kava, this and that. She would get mad talking about, why are we going to steakhouses? You're good for it. I said, oh shit. They were like, bro, the white women, they're down to go and get a cup of coffee, go and get some fucking ice cream. My friends were like, bro, the white women we're dating, they pay for a lot of our stuff. I said, what do you mean? They said, bro, they know that we're making some money, but while we're at practice or we're at camp, they got us our favorite Kava bowl, double chicken, right? Waiting for them to come out of practice. My friends were telling me these girls are getting their group projects done, getting their essays done, online tests done, on time. I said, wait, what? I said, bro, what about maintenance? There's no way y'all not paying for her hair, nails, bags, her lifestyle. He said, bro, first of all, my girl will get her own Starbucks and even get me one, but if I want to be nice, I'll get her something, from Starbucks. And they were like, hair and nails, they don't even care about the nails, really, and if they do it themselves. Sometimes I pitch in, and I was like, all right, what about hair? They were like, bro, she's white. She just brushes it. We're flat irons it. She wants to be special. I said, Jesus Christ, you guys are saving a lot of money. One of my men said this. He just got drafted. He said, bro, I was dating a black girl. Now I'm dating a white girl. I'm about to marry her. He said, the difference between the black girl and the white girl, the biggest difference is the white girl knows when to shut the fuck up. I said, God damn. Listen, this is what they told me. Do with the information as you please. If it takes me 10 to 15 years to find a black woman that's compatible with me, that's what I'm going to do. but this is what they told me. So stop being surprised.
Now, like I said before, I don't agree with any of this because I feel like it just perpetuates that black girls that do abide or act like so-called white girls don't exist. If that's what every man claims that they're looking for, to say that you can't find a black girl that does that is very disingenuous and definitely a lie. But needless to say, I wouldn't take advice from any of these people who don't seem to be upstanding black men themselves and are also the exact stereotype that they find off-putting in black women. Like, where'd they do that at? They literally do the same things themselves. So yeah, anyway, I do think that there is a stigma of black guys dating white girls when it comes to professional sports. We've seen it for decades, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I do think it's a part of the professional culture of athletic black men, and I do think it does stem from racism and preference that is pushed onto you because you are the 1%. And maybe not financially at first, but when you are being recruited to play at the college level or even being recruited to play at the professional level, at least within your social standing such as your high school or college, you technically are the 1% of your surroundings. And I think that exclusivity does put into a lot of people's heads that they don't have to abide by race loyalty or anything of that nature. And again, do what you want and date who you want. And before you say that black girls are this and that and the third, you'd be lying to say that you can't find a black girl that isn't this, that, the third, and the fourth.
There's a lot of NFL related conversations happening right now with the draft picks happening, and a lot of people are discussing a coincidence that they have seen with these black players showing up to their sofas with non-black women. I have a bit of a contribution to that topic, and I'm only speaking from my own perspective, from my experience of the NFL players that I have encountered. Dated one, spoken to one long term, got to know one, just a talking stage, nothing really happened. Not that they don't like black women, I am unambiguously black. They like agreeableness, that's the word. They want you to be agreeable, want you to just keep quiet and agree to everything. He can come outside today and be like, wow, look how green the sky is, and you got to agree that the sky is green. If you tell him it's blue, there's a problem. If you tell him it's blue, all of a sudden he's gonna say you're messing up his mental. Everything is all about them. They will get you nice things. They will get you nice things, but it doesn't feel like a relationship. If you're his sit-in therapist, basically, so you sit there, he'll talk to you when he wants to. If he's in a bad mood, had a bad game, he doesn't want to talk, you've got to understand that he doesn't want to talk. A lot of black women do experience the privilege of being able to just be in a position where you can just turn your brains off and trust your man to do everything. A lot of black women are in survival mode, and these guys can't deal with somebody that's in survival mode because he is so focused on his game. There's also conversations around the fact that they are being groomed to talk to other races of women. Yes, that too, but it's not that they don't find black women physically attractive. It's not that they would never ever speak to a black woman, but a lot of them are wanting somebody to be in a relationship with them, to watch them be in a relationship by themselves. That's another observation I made, is the fact that a lot of these guys do not have the social skills that it takes to be around a typical black person. Obviously, there's not that many black British women roaming around the streets of America, so a lot of my friends in America are black American women. I used to date these guys and I brought them around my friends. They didn't have much to say. When I brought them around my Caucasian friends, they were more open. I never thought about that until now. It's not really a topic that sits in my head. There are a certain type of men and they need a certain type of woman, and that woman can be black, she could be anything. They tend to find it in non-black women. Just my opinion based on the 3 that I've met. If you're wondering where I met them, they're not that hard to find in Florida, if anybody's looking for them. But yeah, that's what I've got to say.
I think a lot of these white girls know exactly what they're doing. If you watch the movie Get Out, there's a scene where Rose feels that she has accomplished getting rid of Chris, and she's upstairs in her room eating Fruit Loops with no milk, which I think was an Easter egg, searching up the top NCAA athletes. And I think Jordan Peele, who was the director of the movie, placing that in the movie was not just ironic. I think it was very intentional, because I think it goes to show that there is an intentional effort by a lot of these white girls to snag a black athlete because they know that attention for them at some points is exclusively given to them. And I would like to ask white girls that do move like this, how do you feel turned on or at least okay getting with a man who dislikes women of his own race? Like, it wouldn't make sense for me to date a white man that hates white girls. I would feel kind of uncomfortable with that. But I think with the optics that social media shows with athletes, it does boost a lot of these non-black girls because they know that black guys of that nature aren't just looking at black girls. It sometimes feels like they're looking at everything but black girls. And I think it's unfair to call black black women angry, jealous, or bitter, when you actually look at the actual effect of a choice like this, a black woman who raised you, sisters and cousins that supported you, teachers and aunties who saw you grow up from a young boy to a man, all contributed to your lifestyle and who you became, just for you to somewhat guarantee your wealth goes to your oppressor. So I don't think that's angry or bitter, and even if it is, it's just something to know that after all of your blood, sweat, and tears and what you've worked for can easily go to somebody who never had to walk in your shoes, doesn't resonate with you as a person, will never understand some of your biases and just natural life ordeals, but somehow they're more deserving, or at least they're just more preferred for you to build within your career, but not a black girl. Like, I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and all of these WNBA girls that are getting a lot more recognition, such as Angel Reese or Juju Watkins or whomever, exclusively or at least primarily dated white men, black men would maybe understand why the optics doesn't make sense, or just the family, financial, and structural consequence that a choice like this makes. Now, I know this was a long video, but there was a pin that I talked about earlier that I wanted to develop. So I talked about me thinking that Olu's Nigerian mother didn't necessarily have a problem with the girlfriend. I'm going to just assume that the girlfriend has been around for a little while, hence why she is sitting on the couch with them at the draft party. And again, there was the longer clip of the mom and her embracing one another and being happy together. I think social media definitely took the part of the video that had the most virality, and that's how we got to this conversation. But nonetheless, I wanted to say directly to my Nigerians, or just my Africans too, do y'all feel that African parents are more accepting of their sons dating outside of the culture versus their daughters? Maybe I'm looking too much on social media, but a lot of times when I see African couples that are down for the swirl, I do see a lot more black men who went for white women or just non-black than I do African women that went non-black or non-African. So I've been trying to keep my personal relationship to a certain privacy because that's just how I am, but I have no issue with posting my boyfriend. So we've been dating for about 5 months now, and he is Black American. And when I told my parents about him and introduced him and other things, I personally feel like my parents won't take it seriously because he's not African. And don't get me wrong, they do like him, but I do see that he's not African point of them as well. I get some of their reasons, I just don't think they're relevant to my happiness. So I want to know if there's anybody else in my position. Maybe you're an African girl and you're dating someone, or you're married to someone but they're not African, or vice versa, and tell me why you think this is, or just ways to combat this. Because there were a lot of things that my parents were saying that I felt like were very sexist. It was a lot of, as a woman, you're supposed to do this. As a woman, the type of family that you're from, you're supposed to be with an African man, and other things of that nature. And I kept telling them those things are all good and dandy, especially how I grew up immersed in the culture, but also black and white environments. I consider myself very diverse with the experiences I've had throughout my life, and although this is not interracial, there's still this tension and it confuses me. But there's a lot of guys in my family who are also Nigerian, who are dating or married to non-African women, and it seems so much more supported and embraced than my situation. And I've tried to explain to them that this is my first time that I actually feel happy. This is the first time I've ever introduced my parents to a boyfriend. This is the first time I've experienced a lot of things in this relationship, and I don't feel like that's being prioritized over culture or race or whatever it may be. I see that the gender with me being a woman, but my cousins who have black girlfriends or just non-African girlfriends, and everybody seems to have no issue with that. And I want to know if there's anybody in my shoes or if there's any advice on it. I feel like my parents think like they know what is meant for me, and that is to remain culture loyal. And the thing is, I've never been against that. I just feel like God put this type of man in my life, and I accepted that, and I'm happy with it. So with this example, I've just noticed a lot of these African men and these African athletes who do this, their parents don't seem that against it. But I know for a fact that if it was the other way around, where it was their daughters, they would be way more reluctant to support it because it's their daughter. Let me know y'all's thoughts. All in all, there is a stigma that black athletes date white women or just non-black women, and it can be for any reason. But I think when you dig deep about it, it just goes to show that a lot of them don't like black women for very stereotypical or off-putting reasons that aren't always perpetuated by black women in general. And especially when you think about the location of all of this at a college campus, I don't see the stereotypical black girls at a college campus in the masses. I think it's fine if they want to date outside their race, especially if that's what makes them feel happy and secure. But I just hope that their reasonings are always genuine and never based in hatred or disdain for black women. We've seen this type of dynamic play not in favor of black men sometimes, so I just hope for the sake of historical context, I hope a lot of them understand what they're getting into, because there's many things to adapt to when you date interracially, no matter what combination it is. I think when it comes to high-earning black men, we need to divest from it only comes from athletics, because there are other high-earning black men in other industries as well. It doesn't just have to be athletes. I mean, these guys are getting drafted first round like I was talking about, so yes, they're going to have the money. They're young, their life is about to elevate right now, and much luck to them. But again, I do think that the stigma is alive and well and very true. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream all my songs. They are back on all streaming platforms. I have 4 songs out, and yes, I do music if you're new, so please go check me out. The links are always down below in the description. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
All hail the queen, QC, yeah, she is risen. Present is a gift, so I come with the ribbon. Internet told me stop rapping, I ain't listen to them. No, I really got more bars in the prison system, right? Yeah, one beef, step into the kitchen. Murder flows, you could suspect, I am not the victim. Beat queen, D's on that bitch like we with the Pistons. Red cherry, red bottoms, I know how to pick them. Always got a secret plan, I don't do the fighting. Shorty is a secret fan, yeah, she ghost riding. Brown skin beauty with a booty, showtime. Go off on a tangent, I don't need a cosign. So baddies, women, they are cheap about a dozen. Hot girl straight up out the microwave oven. Gotta bring a chicken, man, before you get the stuffing. In this beat going crazy, snapping on percussion. Chioma at the top, I'm the #1 prospect. Beat from Lakia when she slid on Cosmic. Told him come here, boo, I'm trying to make your jaw stiff. I got no pics, but I wanna see your pockets. Big glossy lips, dry them out like a faucet. Speak chickenese, so I put them in a cockpit. Cooking in the studio, call me Dirty Crockett. Gingerbread baby running fast like Sonic. It's commendable, was a ceremony, but now it's a festival. New money now, so you gotta move a decimal. Presidential suite, and it's looking all congressional. I'm so delectable, pull your queen card, cause mine is a collectible. Better mind your business and stay off my genitals. Probably make them high, cause my body's like an edible. Wait, let me stop, cause I'm trying to be professional. Damn. I know that's what y'all said when you heard that verse. I know, right? Y'all was like, damn. Respectfully, though.